Autobots, roll out!
Hello and welcome to That's Just Prime, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Studio Series Movie Optimus Prime, and I love this toy. Released in March of 2018, he's brand new and starting to hit store shelves right now as of the time of this recording. Now, I have not seen him in store shelves yet, but I have seen him in many online retailers, and he's going for anywhere between $35 to $45 depending on where you buy him. Now, again, Optimus Prime is back to the Peterbilt truck mode that we saw in the first 3 live-action movies. So, yeah, we've got a couple of these already. This is a completely different mold. This does completely different things from anything you've seen before. Some are really, really cool. He's got a lot of very cool transformation steps, and he does some really interesting stuff. He's not the best Voyager Prime that we've seen. He's not the worst. He's certainly very, very good. Now, here in truck mode, Optimus is approximately 6.5 inches long and about 2.5 inches tall. So again, not the biggest thing we've ever seen either, but also not the smallest. And again, here he is in the Peterbilt truck mode. He rolls okay. He's got these pegged on wheels. They don't use the pins anymore, so these wheels are just kind of pegged on there. So they roll okay. This back one is kind of stiff on me, so a lot of times when he's rolling, I can see that back wheel skating like it's doing right there. See that? Sometimes it rolls, sometimes it doesn't, but, you know, he rolls, I suppose. The truck looks really, really good. You can tell that those are the robot feet right there, but they did a good job of forming the hitch itself. And, you know, all around, a pretty good truck mode. Now, you probably noticed that he is done in very, very dark colors as compared to previous releases. And we're going to be taking a look at those here in a moment when we start comparing. But every other Prime or movie Prime that we got was very, very bright, vibrant colors. This guy is very muted. They're metallic colors, but they're dark. So, you know, it's kind of a different take. He doesn't have that gold fade in the front anymore. And black wheels, again, as usual, which has become the norm, sadly. There, that's better. Now he's got silver wheels. It's not perfect because he's got these, these wheels, these new type of wheels have holes in them because of the way they're designed. But certainly better than just all black wheels, in my opinion. Anyway, so there it is. That's just an improvement for, in my opinion. Alrighty, so Optimus does come with a couple of things. Let's back up a little bit. He does come with a few weapons. Now, he does come with his swords. He comes with 2 of these, all right? And they are individually molded to be one right and one left. So there you go. He does have a couple of tabs right here on this side, and you can tab them. There's a couple of tabs up here on the top of the roof. These are actually designed to be used in robot mode, but you can, if you want to get crazy. The short stacks or the smokestacks are short enough that if you want to get crazy, you can drive a guillotine truck of some sort and decapitate robots as you drive down the highways, and take their faces, as Optimus is prone to do. But you've also got these tabs, or slots rather, back here on the hitch or feet, and these are meant to be stored back here while he's in truck mode. Now, again, I am not a fan of storing weapons so blatantly in vehicle modes, but that actually works. That's not terrible. So, now let's look at some comparisons and see how does he compare with the other truck primes that we have seen, mostly Voyagers. I am going to bring out one deluxe class, since this guy's kind of on the small end. I am going to bring the deluxe class for the Dark of the Moon, just so you can see what these guys scale like together. And as you can see, while he is still bigger than the deluxe, he is really close to a very, very small Voyager. So there you go. That's what these guys look like together. And then we'll bring out the rest. Are going to be all Voyagers. So here he is with the Battle Blades, the Hunt for the Decepticons Battle Blades Optimus Prime. So the Voyager from the second movie. So you can see what they look like together. And you'll notice all these others, very bright, vibrant colors. This guy very dark, very muted. So there's these 2 guys together there. Here is the Voyager for Dark of the Moon. This is the Japanese version, the one that doesn't have the gigantic tanks that came also with the trailer. And I am going to show off the trailer here in a moment. Now you'll notice that this one is if you remember the Dark of the Voyager, that's a new thing that I'm just coming up with. Look for that in stores soon. Dark of the Moon Voyager, if you remember, was on the small end of the Voyagers. So you can see they're about the same length. The Dark of the Moon is just a little taller and just a little wider. So the question was bound to arise, will the trailer work with this guy? We'll look at that in just a moment. Let's look at one more Voyager. And this is not the last night, the last night Voyager that just recently came out last year. So there it is. That's what those guys look like together. And of course, this guy's going to be a little taller. So there you go. There's that. Now, the question about the trailer. Where's my trailer? So here is the trailer for the Dark of the Moon Voyager. And the question was bound to come up, will it fit? So the pegs don't work. They absolutely do not line up. This peg is way too far back. If you bring it over there, the trailer is just going to be kind of pointing up and right up against the back of the cab. So that's really not going to work. If you can come up with some sort of a peg that you can put into both this peg and that hole right there to make that work together, that would actually work. And it looks pretty okay. The truck looks a little on the small end. Nothing we haven't seen before. If you remember the third-party trailer with the Classics Optimus Prime, that trailer was a lot bigger than the truck itself. So the truck does look like it's going to be a little bit on the small end to be pulling this trailer, but that actually does look nice, and you can make that work. And as you can see, he's kind of sitting there, and I am kind of moving him around. Of course, as soon as I say it, he falls off. You can carefully move him around. But if you can, again, if you can come up with some sort of a peg that you can put into both of these with some sort of ring in the middle so he won't slide off, you could probably make that work, and that will look pretty sweet. So there's that. Now, Prime did come with one more thing, and it's really not going to work in truck mode. It's meant more for robot mode, so let's get into the transformation so we can show that off. Transformation for this guy, as I mentioned, is very, very interesting. He does things that he seems to borrow steps from other figures that we've seen before while doing some of his own new different stuff. So we're going to start right here with these tanks and just take them up and turn them sideways just like that. Come to the front wheels. We're going to unpeg these from the front. And these are going to scissor all the way down, and then they're going to peg into themselves. The step is going to peg into the leg, and then there's a tab that's going to peg into the inside of the step right there. Do that on both sides, just like that. And I'm already seeing that we're going to need to back up. So let's go ahead and do that now. All right, let's see, where are we at? Take the back of the camper here. Actually, go ahead and come down here to the bottom. Take these two panels, and we're going to flip these forward. These are going to be his shoulder panels or his shoulder blades. And now we can take the entire back of the truck, and you're going to see there's a whole peg right here. Red peg is going to go into that square right in there. So go ahead and bring this down and peg it into place. Let's go ahead and work on the legs while we're here. Go ahead and separate the legs. This is really cool. This is borrowed from Evasion Mode Optimus Prime. So we're going to take this entire top half of the truck, and we're going to rotate it around. And this is going to become the foot. Do that on this side as well. We'll turn it this way so you can see what's going on there. So the whole thing is just going to rotate just like that. Very, very cool. And then I absolutely love the way this handles the wheels. So this wheel here is going to unclip, rotate up, and then the wheel well is going to flip down and cover that wheel just like that. I really love that idea right there of how that handles the wheels. Very, very cool. And bring the knee panels out. The legs are pretty much all done. We're going to move up to the top. Unless you want to do a girth truck like that, that's pretty cool. Moving up to the top, we're going to take the back of the camper, and we're just going to rotate this straight up just like that. Take these blue panels right here and fold them outwards. And then these tanks here, they're on ball joints and also on a spin, so you can move these all over the place. The instructions recommend that you go with something like that. You can go straight up and down if you want. You can angle them. I prefer to angle them to kind of help with the silhouette of the vehicle, or the robot rather. Mine came with a gigantic stress mark right there, right out of the box. So do be careful with that. Watch that thing. Okay, what do we want to do next? Let's take these panels right here, these top panels on the side. These are going to rotate forward. That slot is going to peg right into the mirror right there. And you saw that little panel just kind of came with it. That's all right. Leave it be. Same thing on this side. Rotate these panels. These are really stiff. Peg that right into the mirror there. Go ahead and bring the roof down at a little bit of an angle, and this is going to allow us to take the center part of the roof and the windshield, rotate it around to reveal the head. Once that's done, bring this up just to keep it out of the way. Unpeg the air filters right here, and this entire panel and the air filter is going to come to the back. Take the air filter, just rotate it out. Do the same thing on the other side. These need to come in together. And mine are super stiff. Alrighty. So now that we're here, let's see if we can get that in the camera. So you'll see that there are these two little tabs right there. So you just want to bring those panels together so that they meet with the tabs in, just like that. And then the panel that the filter is on, bring that back and rotate the filter outwards, just like that. So do that on the other side. And then you can just bring the roof down. Roof is pretty much done. Back is pretty much done. And then we're moving on to the arms. Make sure that's pegged into place. The arms, these borrow from a couple of different figures. They borrow from Transformers Prime, the Voyager Optimus Prime, and they also borrow from the Dark of the Moon, where the whole, the Dark of the Moon Voyager, rather, where this whole thing is just going to unfold here to become the arm. So we're going to unpeg these. Actually, yeah, this is really cool, actually. I love this. This is kind of Transformers Prime. I forgot a step. So we're going to take the grill, and we're going to unpeg it from the front. And these things are going to rotate. And as they're rotating, you see this rotates out. You don't want to rotate it all the way out. You just want to bring it out just enough to rotate the entire thing like this, and then rotate it inwards like that. Same thing on this end. Rotate it up and bring it back. Move the roof out of the way one more time. These are going to peg in right here on the smokestack. There and there. And now you can bring the roof down. So that really does a great job of putting away the grill and just hiding it away and getting rid of it. And not really being very obtrusive in robot mode. Love that. Now we can take the arms and we're just going to pull them down. And then we're going to pull this entire thing. We're going to rotate it up. That is going to tab in right there below the head, below the front of the neck. So that's going to tab in right there. Separate. And the windows are going to form right there. You're going to see the windows. These are going to kind of accordion out. And then these shoulder pieces are going to tab in right here on these pieces there. So tab that in there. Tab that in there. Go ahead and rotate the waist at this time if you want. And now we're just going to straighten out the arms. So straighten the whole thing out. We're going to bring this panel outwards, bring the fist down, rotate this upwards, and then we're going to rotate the entire arm 180 degrees. And as we do so, we're going to bring this panel, and that tab is going to tab into that slot right there. Just like that. Same thing on this side. So we'll straighten out the arm, move that panel out of the way, straighten out the fist. And now we're going to rotate the lower arm, bring this panel around, and again, that tab will tab into that slot right there. Get them all nice and straight. And there is Optimus Prime Studio Series, Optimus Prime in robot mode, and he looks fantastic. Here in robot mode, Optimus stands approximately 7 inches tall. And again, not the perfect representation of movie Optimus Prime, but certainly one of the better representations that we've seen in Voyager form. This is really, really nice. Now, a point of contention that a lot of people are going to have is this big panel on the back there, and kind of the same complaints that people had with the Transformers Prime Optimus Prime. It had that big flat panel on its back, and it kind of kills the silhouette. So what I've seen a lot of people doing is that when you're not using the swords, you can bring this up and angle it just like that. It makes a little bit of a more protruding backpack if you're looking at them sideways, but if you're looking at them from the front, especially with these tanks angled back here, you can see it really does help the silhouette right there. We'll bring it in close so you can see the face. I guess we're going to have to bring that up. And we'll get in close to see the face. And again, you know, movie Optimus Prime face. Not bad. Not a bad mold at all. And for articulation, the head is on a ball joint, so as you can see, he can move all over the place. The arms can go, if you move this panel, in and out, and they can also rotate all the way around. He's got a rotation right here at the bicep, hinge at the elbow, and he can rotate the wrist. Due to transformation, as you saw, we can turn the waist. The legs can go in and out. They can go forward and backwards. The knee has a bend. It can go all the way back. And then the feet have two hinges, one to go forward and backwards and one to go side to side. So really nice articulation here. Let's look at the weapons real quick. We'll bring that back down again so you can see how the weapons store. So if you remember, we addressed these slots on his back earlier. And you can take his swords. If you remember, they had those tabs. So we can take these and just tab them right back there. And that's where he can store his weapons when he's not using them. Now, I'm not a big fan of that because now his panel on his back is even taller. It's just really pronounced. Not a huge fan of that. I do, however, love the way that these weapons deploy. So we'll go ahead and do that now. As you have probably noticed, this backpack here is a little floppy. This flops around a lot, and these flop around a lot. So these, they kind of require, they're a little bit high maintenance. You'll notice that I keep going back there and straightening those out a lot. All right, so swords have a handle. Okay, now the way these are meant to be held, you're not going to peg them in from the top like that. If you do that, the sword is going to be upside down. You see that? Okay, these are actually meant to peg in from the bottom. Okay, this way, what this is doing is it's creating an image, right? So it looks like the weapon is actually coming from his arm. You see that? And the fist still look like they're open. Like it doesn't actually look like he's holding the swords. They really do look like they're coming out from his forearms, which is, you know, the way they worked in the movie, and it's the way it's meant to look. So that's really, really cool. I love the way they deployed those swords. Now, we did talk about one more thing that came with this figure, and that is the packaging. Now, this is the inside of the packaging, and it does come with this little cardboard stand with a backdrop so that you can stand them there, as all the Studio Series figures do. And if you want to display it this way, if you have the room on your shelf, you can certainly put them up there that way. And that looks pretty cool. I'm probably not going to do it myself just because I don't have the room. But that is a pretty cool idea. I do like it. It looks nice. I didn't think I was going to like that at all, but it is pretty cool looking. You know, just some forest painted back there with a logo and Autobot logo up there. Studio Series 5. So, you know, that looks pretty good. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be using mine. Now, for comparison, here he is real quick with the Dark of the Moon, both the Deluxe and the Voyager. So you can see what these guys look like together. And you can see he's right in the middle. Right in the middle of the Deluxe and the Voyager. And again, if you remember, this Voyager was kind of a small Voyager. So he's right there in the middle of those two. And then we'll bring in the other two Voyagers. Here is the Revenge of the Fallen Voyager. And here is the Last Night Voyager. And again, he's going to be a little shorter than those two. So, kind of on the small side for a Voyager figure. Very interesting figure. I love a lot of the stuff that this guy does in transformation. You know what? We'll bring him in for his final shot with this thing. How about that, huh? I love what this guy does. His transformation steps. Very cool. It's a very cool new take on a Voyager Optimus Prime, and one that we've seen quite a few times before, so I think it's definitely worth checking out. And I think that about covers Transformers Studio Series Movie Optimus Prime. What did you think of this figure, and what would you like to see me review next? Let me know by leaving me a comment, give me some thumbs up, subscribe, and share with your friends if you like what you see, and I'll talk to you next time on That's Just Prime.